pick up a day to follow away to you. 'Cause at the end of the day, I ain't looking for no reason to change. 'Cause everything is good for you. Baby, I can see you. We're gonna shout it out to the sky. Tell our secrets to the night, so we can see the end inside. We're gonna shout it out to the sky. When I look into your eyes, I can see no better light, better light in love. Baby, I can see you. We're gonna shout it out to the sky. Tell our secrets to the night, so we can see the end inside. We're gonna shout it out to the sky. When I look into your eyes, I can see no better light, better light in love.
Gonna be a quick counter-attack. Sai loses the ball. Big knock forward. Waterfall's down and he'll find the target. Opened up from the heavens. Down, and Decadensky player gets a touch right in field. And hold on a minute. It's gonna be on target. Repre knocked out.
Isaac trying to bring this ball away. Flipping into the middle. No, NC cuts it off the sidewall. Beautiful redirect. Clear, but Dantronex collects. It's over to the left side where Silence lies. What a pass inside. Dirk and Jazz working together. The low 50 played, ball into no man's land. Hill motion, takes to the skies, off the ceiling, reset, dunks down!
And Clifty will look to try and take a shot at the upper finals. Still waiting for its real opening. Clifty off the ceiling. Hold on a minute. He will find the redirect! Welcome to the Redirect 3v3 Monthly. Last month, this was one of the very best. It cannot be stressed how much that clip button was pressed. With many thanks to BTTS, they puffed out their chest and let their gameplay do all the rest. Nisarel played well, but it must be addressed. They forfeited in lowers, which we do to test. The ticket was granted. two contenders messy for a grand final worthy of RDR history. Presented with BTTS to go via V, followed a series that flirted with equality. But on these replays, you'll soon see our upper qualifiers show the best that they can be, cementing themselves as Redirect Hall of Fame inductees. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to number 33 of the Redirect 3v3 Monthly. It's myself, Sir Pegasus, joined by Rhino.
I think you've actually got a new name for today. I think it's Shakes Pegasus. Look at that for an intro. Love that from you. We are live for another Redirect 3v3 Monthly, the first to be on a Friday because RLCS exists. So we are going to bring you the action a little bit early, and we hope you're ready for it. We got some fantastic teams. The tournament so far has been very, very exciting. So excited to see where the rest of this goes and who takes home the victory.
Absolutely. It's going to be one of those days where the teams we are going to see are, of course, going to be interesting. What's also going to be interesting is the teams that we don't see, because we had quite an unexpected sign-up added to the masses here today. Our first ever, I believe, world champion to sign up to Redirect 3v3 Monthly. It was Scrub Killer, who unfortunately faced defeat a little bit earlier in the day, so he will not be a part of our top three. He will not be a part of this upper final, but we can have a little look at the journeys of the teams that did make it this far. Some familiar faces, especially with that organization, VentuCorp.
Yeah, we've known that they've been around the Redirect scene for a little while and having another brilliant day so far as I can see, going lossless. It's 8-0 so far for VentuCorp. They're going to look to continue that against Team 7 in our upper final. And Team 7 getting to their position after beating the second seed in the upper semi-final on the other side. That was Orphée Esports. They looked really good going up to that point, but just couldn't get the better of Team 7. So they dropped down. They're currently playing in the losers semi-final. But a really big upper final to come, a really big lower final that will follow, and then that grand final. It really could be anyone who's going to get themselves there.
You get tested very early with a best of threes, but that passage of time is now over for this Redirect 3v3 Monthly. It's time for the best of fives. It's time to establish who has the stamina to keep on going. You can have those quick starts, but a game 3 win is what qualified Team 7 Esports. VentuCorp more likely to show us that consistency, in the recent Redirect 3v3 Monthlies have shown that as well. We got Rife, Nashiti and Vizek, the full Spanish roster, taking on the full Portuguese side of Zobas, Rafa and Pave. It's not very often that we don't have an Englishman in the upper finals for these monthlies. It's also not very often that we have two teams of differing full nationalities facing each other. That doesn't include a Frenchman either.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also worth remembering the already existing rivalry between these two nations. Spain and Portugal's storied histories in multiple sports. Now it's going to be tested here in Rocket League. And VentuCorp coming off the back of a win in the Redirects Monthly, I believe a couple of months ago now, with Team 7 not getting to that same point, but they do have a specific player on that team that we are excited to see take to the field. That's Rafa coming through to play for the Portugal side, and we've seen a little bit of him in Redirect 3v3 Monthlies, Pegasus. I'm really excited to see what he can do now on this mainstream.
He's an excellent player, of course, in his own right. Zobas is also one of his players that has started to stand up over time in the Portuguese scene, now just going to wider Europe and being able to compete as well, has led to a really well-rounded roster to debut for these monthlies. But on the other side, you've got Rife, you've got Nashiti, you've got Vizek. These are players that are actually all, I believe, a feature in the intro that you saw a little bit earlier. So these are 3 heritage players for Redirect, so it'll be very interesting to see how these 3 who are very much established in this scene will be able to take down this full Portuguese, very new roster, not just for Redirect, of course, but in the scene as well, albeit Rafa starting to really get himself established alongside the likes of Vadi.
Yeah, and that's why some people come to watch Redirect Esports in the 3v3 monthly, is because you get a glimpse into the future. You get to see who's next up, who is in that top of the bubble scene ready to explode. Rafa, one of those players that has been doing that. And the entirety of the side of VentuCorp also going to look to do some serious damage in RLCS this split. So there's all sorts of stuff going on. I will say, just before we get into the actual game, I want to really broadcast the point that Team 7 Esports were seed number 7 coming into the competition today. That I'm not joking, and that excites me a lot. That, I mean, it was written in the stars, wasn't it, for them to make a run?
It really was, and I will be interested to see again how they can compete. I do see actually a Portuguese man in chat right now. I don't think there's going to be any prizes for guessing who he will be going for in this prediction. So I'm very ready for this matchup. They have said that they also did make that joke in call. I do like to see that. I'm glad that someone else noticed. It turns out maybe I was the only one that didn't, but it's a best of 5 format. Of course, winner gets themselves that first round bye for the best of 7 grand finals. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the players are all ready. Let's get this party started. It's established players on the side of VentuCorp. 3 Spain players look to take down their noisy neighbours. Team 7 Esports prove to show that number is lucky. Let's have our kickoff.
It's a big game to kick things off, as you say. We've got the upper final, Spain versus Portugal, VentuCorp versus Team 7, previous winners of the Redirect Monthly. And unfortunately, we will take a little bit longer to get into game, but that just allows us to really get the hype growing once more, Pegasus, and get people excited for what we've got going on. So I'm excited. I feel like there is there could be a little bit of a standard shift if it's going to be Team 7 to take home this victory. They've had a tough run to get to this point. Of course, they have being seeded 7th. That is going to make it a little bit harder for you getting to this point. But on the other side, VentuCorp 8-0, you just can't go against those numbers.
No, you really can't. It's super tough, but there's a reason that Rocket League is played on a pitch and not paper. We've got the players returning back to the lobby. We can get ourselves started very, very soon. Team 7 Esports have got themselves quite a challenge for their Redirect 3v3 monthly debut. Can they handle the Spanish offensive press? Will they be able to break through? Can they get that advantage heading into the grand final? It's a match to guarantee prize pool. We have kickoff.
There we go, Rafa getting things underway early. Lovely reset, looks for that top corner. Nashiti goes up to meet him. Tries to bring it away, but can only find Pave, who plays it into that far corner. Again, tried to be brought away by Visor, but Pave once again gets in the way, looking for that reset. And this will actually be the first Redirect Monthly, Pegasus, where we have the new reset on the bottom of the cars. Rafa doesn't need one, just fires into the top right corner. Team 7 take the lead.
It's dribbled down dangerously from Visor. You never want to be wall side when that 50-50's coming off of those loose pinches like that are just going to happen. The first goal given away from VentuCorp. But again, not in that best of 3 format anymore. You've got the luxury of choice moving forward. You've got that time to claw yourself back. It's a great save coming from Rife, but frankly, not enough. Team 7 has immediately caused shock for the Spaniards.
I want to talk about that recovery from Pave, because he was in a really difficult position right in front of goal. He just got the bump. He got the Goomba stomp down in front of goal, but he was also left awkward on that one. Left sideways to the ball, had just enough boost to turn around and poke it home. Whoa! Oh! Pave! What an angle!
Unbelievable! It's 3 goals in quick succession. It's 3 goals of extremely different quality. That is a great start for Team 7. They're going for 7.
I think they might be. We have been corrected, by the way. It's PaveX, as we should be able to read it. There you go. There's that reset indicator once again being showed here on the Redirect 3v3 Monthly. Something you'll have to get very used to as you watch the RLCS starting from this weekend. Nashiti's got a chance. Surely no. Zobas gets across the goal line, makes a big save. Pavex trying to get around. No, Rafa has to send it into the corner. The first time really in this game that Team 7 are under pressure.
Oh, good 2 touches by it's on target! It was said in chat! Remember the name Pavex! What an introduction! It's nice to meet you!
Yeah, unless you're VentuCorp, of course. In which case, they are wondering where this guy's come from. Off the angle, the redirect incredible. And now VentuCorp really in danger. Rafa once again, and now VentuCorp have left the back door open. Zobas will take the shot. Pavex will rob it. 4 goals on the game. This is a rout.
This is disastrous for VentuCorp. It has been made way too easy. Team 7 Esports have had to earn some of those goals. Okay, the sidewall might be hard to stop. A really tough acute angle. It's a really hard one to call. They actually had a player on the goal line. But for the rest, letting Team 7 have that confidence in the first place when you're supposed to be the team with experience.
Yeah.
It's just a complete shock. Pavex will look to take it over. It's a block there in the midfield. VentuCorp just trying to get a goal back. Just a little bit of confidence to move forward with. Because even if this first game is necessarily gone, moving forward, you still want to have that momentum. You don't want to have to start from the negatives when you head into that next game. Nishiti looks for that ball inside. Rife's not going to be able to reach it. Pavex is awkward. 0 boost does spawn on him, though. Knew that was going to spawn with that new update that came in alongside that flip reset indicator. Well, this should be a simple clear for Rife.
Yeah, and right now the Redirect's number 30 champions, they are going to have to fight from behind. Goodness me, Rife pushes forwards a little bit too far. Shot not on target, so it doesn't actually land. Rafa not going to be able to recover from that one, but Pavex might. That's Zobas, my apologies. I thought it was Pavex from the indicator, but no. Rafa puts this one up off the backboard. Not defended at all by VentuCorp. Rafa not in a good enough position. And it's 6.
Just a reminder, VentuCorp Esports are our number 1 seed, and calculations have put them down at a 21.94 average. Team 7 Esports does drop down quite a fair bit to 2,048. So 150 MMR of difference between these two teams. And right now, you'd trouble to decide which one of those teams that is with the advantage. There's 7 for Team 7. And it is Rafa who finally plants that final goal.
I mean, I don't really know what to say here, Pegasus. VentuCorp's defense has been non-existent since the very start of the game. Maybe made 1 save total throughout this first game. That is a poor clearance from Visek. Does enough to recover. But Team 7 are taking advantage of every little moment, every inch the VentuCorp are giving them at the angle. Oh, it's hit the post. Goodness me, they're not going to stop at 7. They want 10.
They want 77 to keep it going. Like an 11, it would rhyme as well. It has started to slow down, and instead VentuCorp hunts for their own demise. It would actually be coveted Brazil's scoreline against them if they were able to find the back of the net. Of course, they will try to, just to get some foothold into this game, so that when the scorelines do reset, I feel like they face a chance. But that's a wonderful redirect coming from Rafa. And well, we've learned one thing here, Rhino. It might be his first time being on stream for this tournament, but at least he knows the name.
There is no pace right now for VentuCorp. They are getting beaten to every single ball across the field. It's 9. Like,
oh my god.
It just feels like VentuCorp have absolutely no answer. It feels like they perpetually have 0 boost in the tank, even though on that save for the 8th goal, because I'm having to go back because Team 7 are scoring so frequently, that Visek had a full tank of boost and he still couldn't get up to the ball before Rafa. This is bizarre what is happening in front of me right now.
That'd be a sign of things to come for the nation of Portugal, though. Pavex coming in as a 16-year-old with such a good debut first game so far in the Redirect Monthly. If this were to continue for the rest of the day, and Lord forbid we add 3 new players to the Redirect Hall of Fame like we were able to do in that last monthly, I'll start keeping my eyes very close on this nation. But there's the first goal coming in here for Rife. There's no historical football games I can think of to compare this one to. It's actually a really nice passing play to make it happen for VentuCorp. Go on, Rhino, what have you got?
Let me tell you, Pegasus, about Tottenham Hotspur versus Wigan Athletic. 9-1. It ended up in the Premier League to Spurs. And yeah,
get back here.
That's the one that I always go back to when the 9-1 scoreline comes out. There have been a few since. I believe Man United got one a couple of seasons back. But the big one that I always go back to, as I say, is Spurs versus Wigan. That was the first time that scoreline had come out. It was the biggest scoreline in football at the time. And yeah, there you go. Bit of Premier League history for you.
Well, with how Tottenham are playing right now, they might get that rematch soon. It's a team pinch for Paybacks. There's goal number 10. 5 shots, 5 goals, on his way for a double hat-trick. But he'll not be complaining, with a full hand of goals to progress with.
What a pinch. What a lovely team pinch that was. Power of friendship. Working out for Team 7. And with 10 seconds to go, they are just making sure that VentuCorp know full well that they are going to have to play better than they have in any other series that they've played so far today to get past this opponent. Team 7, if you didn't know their names before, you know them now. 10-1 against a redirect champion of just a few months ago. There's no way they can be feeling any better, right? They're on cloud 9. Rafa dropping a 982 score game. Woo!
Not cloud 9, it's cloud 7, and it is heaven for them right now. They look incredible. This is, I mean, what more can we really say about that matchup? I mean, it's 10-1, Rhino. It is 10-1 for a team that came into this monthly and certainly came into this series easily as the underdog matchup. And I'm not just going over history. I'm not just going over MMR. I'm even going off their results to get here in the first place. VentuCorp were that invincible team. This was the first match that they've dropped, and it's at the hands of Team 7, and it's at the hands of a 10-1 game. I'm going to say it again. That sidewall as well was just disgusting. The end of the replay package. Can we see more of that in the next game? Does it keep going along like this? Can VentuCorp even step up? Because my mental would be out the window and more.
Yeah.
And more. This is EU based. It would be thrown all the way to NA.
Yeah. And beyond. Like it might be with the Penguins as well at some point, like fragmented across the world. Look, the benefit really for VentuCorp is that got out of hand far too quickly. And so even after like 2 minutes, game 1 was pretty much done, right? So you can kind of try to reset that mental from that time. So they've had a little bit of a while there to talk things through, figure out what's going wrong. They will need to put fixes in place, and that will need to start here on Forbidden Temple. But, I mean, the first thing to do is stop the bleeding, right? First thing the VentuCorp need to do is not this. Goodness me. Clearance and the send away. But no, Team 7 just continuing to pressure the VentuCorp goal. Their spacing is perfect.
There's Paybacks will shut this one down first as the second man right behind gets that 50 to follow, and Rafa across the pitch will be able to catch it. I believe I saw a flip reset indicator. Zobas can't get this one up corner. It's a big pinch though. It might go all the way. VentuCorp will take it. You ask for them to stop the bleeding. This is certainly a lifeline.
It's important. It's important that VentuCorp were able to get the first one. The bounce is somewhat fortunate, but at least they have something to hold on to now. Team 7 have to respond. They've been playing very well, of course, in that game 1, but doesn't matter whether you win a game 10-0 or 1-0. The fact of the matter is, the next game it goes back to 0-0. And VentuCorp have started game 2 significantly better.
Rafa Up, can't get the second. Visek's going to have to leave this. Zobas, look at that back pass. He's a player close, just tips it high, but Nishiti, patient, stays on, gets that 50 through. Zobas, takes the extra care with that touch. Pavex will just chase, but it's just fear factor. 0 boost to the tank. Visek, though, doesn't fall for that pressure. Composed to just sweep this ball up. Zobas, though, cut down by Rive. That's a pinch yet again. This time it's towards the wrong half of the pitch. Nishiti allows them to survive, but this concedes a dangerous position. The shot is on! And it's Zobas again!
What a pass this is. Pavex could have taken it around, tried to do something himself, but no, I think he's got the call from Zobas that he's up early. Pass infield. And the finish just right in between all of the VentuCorp players. All of a sudden, Team 7 back in this one. And we are being told that this team got picked up a week and a half ago. Well, I think they're going to stick around for a lot longer than that. Let's put it that way.
This is not the chemistry of a team that was picked up 1.5 ago. I am interested in the wording of that. Were they a team before that not picked up by Team 7, perhaps? Because that is the only explanation I can find for how well these three play together. Of course, they are all Portuguese, and you'd assume that in the Portuguese scene they would play together. They do appear to know each other. Rifo certainly knows his two teammates. We've seen them play together and plenty. RLCS, Redirect, 3v3 monthlies, the two highest caliber of gameplay available, and there have been times where they've been able to dominate it. Rafa doesn't land that bump heavy enough. Nishiti is able to escape with his life. Isaac's not going to get the redirect. Nishiti just has that ball bounce too heavily off that wall, so it's going to be a self-setup coming from Rafa. Back inside should be cleaned up by VentuCorp.
Yeah, but Team 7 are maintaining that midfield presence, making it difficult for VentuCorp to get out. And when a team does this, it is very, very difficult to break away, but a low dribble is enough. And now off this bounce. Oh, Rafa beaten there by Rife, and that's going to put Team 7 into a spot of bother. Pavex just sitting on that backboard. He now needs to try and get there first. It's just picked up by Zobas, and a little bit of interplay is enough to take it away from VentuCorp until Nishiti collects. Rife over the top. Visek tries to knock it down, but boost picked up by Pavex, and he should be able to bring this one clear. Plays it into the corner, and there you go.
The clearance, Rife. Got barely any boost of a tank though, and that corner's not going to spot for quite some time. Nishiti is forced to take it himself. Rife steals one from the opposing, doesn't go for that bump. That's any real play you could see him getting involved with. Still has managed to remain local in that final third. This is that press I was talking about from VentuCorp, but they may have bitten off more they can chew. Nishiti was left alone. Rife does so well. Time his flip, gets that control, gets a flip back, but Zobas will just take it wide. Nishiti again clamps on, and this is closer to the game we were expecting now.
Yeah, certainly is. I've got to say, got to give credit, whether you like it or not as a player, as a caster, that reset indicator is huge. It's being able to see it across the field and being able to know whether they actually got the reset or not. You would always guess beforehand whether they actually got it or not. Whereas now you can very, very clearly see, there's that indicator. We know that they've hit that reset properly, and they do have another flip to use. So it's, oh my goodness, bottom right corner. Pavex not going to get there. Rafa just sends that away in time, and Zobas gets the ball clear. A real opportunity at the end of game 2 for VentuCorp. But it is not enough just yet. Team 7 look like they're going to have the final attack. Pavex into the middle. Zobas decides not to go for it, and I think that's smart. Knew there was enough players around him, but they weren't going to be able to do it. And the ball on the floor. First OT of the day.
It is indeed, and off the back of a 10-1 game with the first. You'd struggle to put your bets on, but this would have been the case regardless. Visek looks awkward. Ill gets that first touch. Zobas though will pounce in that difficult position. Rafa's got nothing left of the tank. Just sends it towards the target. Forces out a touch from Nishiti. It was on target. Pavex takes off the backboard. There's 3 men connecting. Just can't find the target. The demo comes through, and Nishiti, he can see that has respawned on him. 100 boost all his. Heavy touches though won't allow him to use it for the attacking chance. Forced into his defensive third. This is going to be quite the chase towards the ball, but Pavex has saved it with that back pass.
Yeah, it certainly has. And Team 7 just seem to have those attacks pretty much on lock. The way that they're working as a team, that's a little bit of a heavy touch though coming through, and that could lead to problems. Right hand side, Visek just can't get the turn on the ball. VentuCorp starting to figure out Team 7's game plan now. You can see that in the way that they're able to make a few more opportunities for themselves. Rafa drops it down to the left. Pavex won't get an extra touch. Clear away. Demo in though, which means only 2 players for the attack for VentuCorp, and Team 7 will get it back. Zobas dropping it down. Is there help? There is not.
Oh, this is one of those positions where you've got to be very careful with how you offload it. Pavex knows that's the reason why, but Rife's not giving up on that first ball. Rafa's stayed close for a minute and a half into this OT now. And it has felt like Team 7 have had a majority of the pressure. That one VentuCorp goal coming from that pinch in their own corner. They haven't really had a sustained attack. Rafa leaves it for Zobas. But the power's not found. The recovery touch isn't there either. Sheety's forced in the corner. Avex is going to struggle to read that, but he's forced the touch out, made it easier for Zobas. VentuCorp have positioned well defensively, and there's a long clearance yet again. Is this once more going to be the difference maker? It certainly will, and the bump only cemented it.
Yeah, that quick breakaway was enough, and you know, Pavex had got back, but Rife was there on the scene to make sure that he couldn't get a touch on the ball. VentuCorp take game number 2, and you were talking about the mental being on Mars, the mental being in trouble. I think they've got it back now. I think they're looking good, especially Nashiti. Goodness me, what a game.
It was just a professional recovery. This is what you get with experience. These players have been in this position many times before. They've felt the worst part of it. They felt the better part of it as well. And this time they are hoping for the latter. Now it's going to be on Team 7 Esports, who had all the attack, it felt like, that entire game, even though the stats may not have necessarily reflected that in the shot department. On the desk here, it very much felt like we spent most of our time in that VentuCorp blue half, and regardless, they just couldn't push it over the line. VentuCorp kept their call, they stretched that game out, and now that they've gotten that win and they haven't forced themselves into a reverse sweep position, I felt like game 1's just thrown out the window now. This is a completely new series.
Yeah, it feels that way, and for all of the lack of defense we saw in game number 1, we definitely saw that step up in game 2 from VentuCorp, from the Spaniards, and that's all you really want to see in games like this. You don't want to see them be complete runaways. You don't want to see that one-sided affair. So VentuCorp bringing it back and making it a 1-1 series going into game 3 is so important, but someone does need to get to series point after this game. Will it be the Spaniards or will it be the Portuguese? We'll find out in the next 5 minutes.
Avex trying to make sure that it's the Portuguese as quick as possible. They've been looking for these early goals. It's a great save though. Coming out from Visek. Pavex gets that flip reset. You know he's got it. Doesn't get a second. Once that dunk won't happen, Zobas will take it on target. But Nashiti, it's an excellent save. Just shy of the crossbar, and now everyone's recovered. Rafa gets the Arsenal reset. Doesn't use the musty flick though. Rife was able to read that, has delayed that attack, and now time is all theirs. Fakes it under. The second and third man though, sitting rather deep, knows that Zobas is going to try and take it over. Now it's up to the second and third to recover to pick this one up, but Pavex again has had an excellent first touch. The bomb comes through, it ricochets about, but Rafa keeps his composure again. Such an excellent reading of the game, and surprise, surprise, Rhino, this is a player with a 1v1 history.
Yeah, you could have guessed it, couldn't you? But the pinball in front of goal there just makes that even more difficult to read. Nashiti, after getting bumped, still gets a touch on the eventual shot, but it's not enough to take it away from Rafa. Clearance here by VentuCorp, cleared by Zobas, but nice catch by Visek. Tries to just pop it over the top of Pavex. That's not going to happen for the moment, and the clearance does come through, so just over a minute played, and actually VentuCorp might have left the back door open. Just about getting back for the save is Visek, but VentuCorp playing with fire.
Pavex though should have this one confidently, goes for the boom. The backboard looked free, but Rife is going to take his time to get up there. Nashiti sees the backboard for himself. Zobas will take it across. Pavex can't catch. Now this ball just spills out in the midfield. We've seen both teams contest in that neutral third. Haven't seen a breakaway for quite some time, though. As soon as it looks like that final killer pass is going to find its way inside, there's always a defender available. These are two teams that position so well defensively. That's a long ball across. Visek should surely be able to clear that. He does.
But it's those questions that Team 7 are asking that are making this difficult for VentuCorp. Because when you take that pot shot from your own side, even if it's not very powerful, you're still forcing someone out of position. You're still making someone go over and save that ball and move to the other side of the field where they don't want to be. And that then allows you to follow up with another opportunity or another chance or another shot. And then you're asking the same for a different person. Pavex, well, he's shown a lot on offense. He's shown a lot on defense in this game. 2.5 minutes played. Team 7 still 1-0 up. But VentuCorp right there in touching distance. That's, again, that reset just a little bit too heavy. And it'll be Zobas looking for a chance, looking for the bump, not finding it.
Rafa, self-setup. Cut down quickly by Visek, and those pop shots that you mentioned before. It's all about just whittling down that boost as well, and that second man press. Seeing if they're going to mess up that clearance, and if you can get there first. Second man pounces this time. It's Nashiti. Saved by Team 7. And again, it's one of those matches that hasn't necessarily slowed down, but it certainly has. And the scoreline department, Pavex can't go all the way. And it was 2 VentuCorp plays required just to stop 1. They're reduced to 2 now. Pavex finds the target. And that's how quick the attacks can form. Players everywhere. Blood left on the pitch. And Pavex is going to pick up from the pieces.
If there was ever a heavy metal Rocket League playstyle, Team 7 have it. They are just continuously beating down VentuCorp's net. We've talked about it. Even in defeat, they seems like they were the more aggressive, taking the more chances, keeping VentuCorp in their own half. They're continuing. They are just ego challenging everything on the sidewalls, everything that VentuCorp wants to do. It's their game right now. And honestly, VentuCorp don't really know how to deal with it. They'll finally break out here, but Zobas so calm and collected on the defense. A turn here from Nashiti. Won't get the fake he was looking for, and the clearance in from Team 7. It's always that huge clearance, and that might be 3. It certainly is. 6 shots, 1 goal for Zobas. Doesn't read very nicely, but when your opponent have got 0 goals, it's a lot better.
Love that commit from Rafa. I really do. Knows he's got 2 players right behind him, so he can afford to take those risks. He can go straight towards the ball. Worst case scenario, he gets a bump. Even worst case scenario, he can just rotate around, and his teammates he trusts to give him that time. It's an excellent 50-50. It immediately gets rid of one of those players on the goal line, and if your teammate is prepared, of course you're going to pick up that goal, and I did not expect this one to go the full distance. It's a huge clearance from Visek of his own lines. A fake coming out there, and Rafa, I felt like he still could have reached that one. It slips away from them, but 48 seconds still to hold. Should instill some confidence for the Team 7 supporters. How are you feeling now, though?
Little bit weak in the knees, I think. That one's not great. Rafa off the kickoff doesn't really get it all. It's a big double push on the kickoff from VentuCorp. They know they needed to get that goal back, and they do. 45 seconds to find another one. Team 7 might have to start battering down the hatches. They've not done so. Nashiti!
No!
Oh, goodness. Great save from Pavex. But it's danger's not gone. Visek faking Nashiti again. This time it's Zobas to the rescue. 30 seconds. Rife off the left. Looking for that reset. Doesn't get it. And we can tell that now. Nashiti looking over the top. Oh, it's hit the bar. How have VentuCorp not scored?
There's still blood in the water. And this is shark-infested waters. Nashiti can't break past Pavex. Decides to see the bumps come out. Boost steals as well from Visek. They're weakened in the final seconds. This is the final stand. Team 7 just have to get back clearance. And it's going to be that miss from Nashiti. No, it won't, because it stays upright. Can't get it past Rafa. Doesn't hit ground yet. The control just isn't there. Team 7 are on match point.
Wow. I mean, what an insane game number 3. Team 7 take it through. For a while, it looked like we were going back to game 1, where Team 7 were going to take it with relative ease. Looks like the better team across the series, but in the end, VentuCorp had enough. They fought back. You know what's crazy to me? Only one demo in the entire game from Team 7. There it is. They're the key demo. Whereas VentuCorp were able to get 5 across that game and not really make them work. So, interested to see how the aggression shifts again in going into game 4. But, I mean, Pegasus, what an insane 5 minutes of Rocket League. And now we know who the loser of this game will play in the lower bracket final.
Look, I'm such a professional caster. We're professional casters here, so we would never use a phrase like quality over quantity. That's way too easy. Anyways, in the lowers waiting is Orphée Esports, and this is a really strong side. Of course, you feel like your toughest matchup is always going to be in uppers. Your reward is going to be having that easier matchup later down the line. I'm not sure how much you can call this an easier matchup. This is a pretty defined top 3. They're on relatively equal pegging because it's Orphée Esports with Booster, Chronomia, MD, and Slothy waiting there. And I believe Slothy, despite being listed as a substitute, will be playing today. And he's not really a player you would expect to be a substitute of a high caliber roster regardless. So barely worthy of that title.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, Orphée can beat anybody on their day. They've already played Team 7 once today. It did not go their way, but it did go all 3 games, which does make it very interesting if we do get that game in the lowers, because a best of 5 between those 2 teams would be very entertaining to watch. But we need to see if we're going to get there first. Team 7 are currently in the advantaged position to get into the grand final without having to play Orphée Esports at least. But for now, it is still all to play for. VentuCorp trying to get around the side. Can't happen. Pavex looking for a chance. Can't do it. Cleared away. Zobas will push it into the left corner. But a big challenge there from VentuCorp. Not enough. Pavex clears away. But these boost steals are really dangerous for Team 7.
Rafa, we're going to be able to get that reset. A clearance comes out. And again, it's just about who's quicker towards the second balls. Isaac's done well with that 50. But Zobas is going to be up first. Try to get its corner. You can see Rafa lurking there, but Nishiti sure to interrupt. And now is more how I expect them to play, although these fleeting chances for Team 7 aren't allow them to get it. They'll pick it up at any time. The shot's on, saved well, clears over, but that 50, not as strong as those we saw before. VentuCorp take the first goal. And, well, when you've been squeezed for quite some time, eventually you just have to pop. They have done past the 1.5 minutes.
It's a really interesting one to me to see that happen, because Zobas looked in a good position and then kind of turned away from the ball before going towards it. Don't know whether that was part of his strategy, whether he'd had a call from a teammate, oh my goodness, or not, about the fact that there was a player that he needed to beat. But either way, Pavex goes pretty much coast to coast, and it is off the back of an outrageous, I believe it was a fake, just coming through there. No, it was just a bump onto Nishiti from Zobas. Makes the defense really difficult to make, and Team 7 back in it, 1-1.
They may have only had one demo last game, but notably, they had a whole lot of bumps, not necessarily going all the way. They don't necessarily have to. It does use a lot of boost to get that in the first place. The passes have come across, but Rafa still somehow gets that corner read, and Apex was up quick. Zobas is left challenged alone, but still offloads that one to a teammate. 1-2 is played tight, now sweeping forward. They're just faster. VentuCorp can't get a touch. Isaac does get a touch. It's the one that's crucial on their goal line. The one to make the difference. We approach the halfway point of this 4th game, and it is still that fight for survival from VentuCorp. But Rafa digs the sword in their chest. It's a gorgeous offset pass coming from Pavex.
Yeah.
And Nishiti just cannot react in time.
That is an absolute dart into the left-hand side of the goal. So much power behind it. And if Team 7 were to go on and win this game, then it would be the first game this series that the team who conceded the first goal would go on to win. Rife off that right side, cleared away, bit of a double commit, could cause problems. Nishiti wanting the waterfall, but Zobas able to read it and send it away. Double commit again on that left-hand side. Team 7 getting their wires crossed a little bit in defense. And VentuCorp not able to take advantage just yet.
Control from Nishiti. Can't control his recoil, however. Payvex doesn't get around Rafa. It's like a bit of back pass yet again. And Team 7 Esports do that a lot. They love recycling the play back to the third man. It's been so helpful for them just to have some time to get themselves back, pick up about 100 boost, even catch up VentuCorp at times. He did get a flip reset so fast. There was a skimmer that ends up going to Rafa. Payvex. They're going to be able to find a teammate this time, and it's all that power behind the ball that leads to all these heavy 50-50s back into the center, and there's always going to be a Team 7 Esports player waiting. It's like they got 4 players on the pitch. It's close quarters now. That shot doesn't go on, but the danger continues because Zobas has somehow intercepted.
Somehow is exactly the right word to use for the way that Team 7 play. They just somehow appear at places in the field, and you're like, well, how have you got there then? I didn't realize that Rocket League brought in teleportation as a skill that you could just press E to use. But sorry, I'm keyboard and mouse warrior over here. But yeah, at the end of the day, Team 7 are just faster, and you've said it in commentary before now. They just seem to be able to get in front of the ball that little bit quicker, but they do need to clean up those double commits. They are really starting to cause problems. That ball over the top, Nishiti will be able to deal with. Turns the corner very quickly, gets bumped off the play. Another double commit. I'm going to keep talking about them.
But I feel like VentuCorp do beat Team 7 typically on that 50s game when they can keep up with the ball. That has been the difference. It's an if, not necessarily a when in this series. Nishiti goes for the shot, double save. It's on the line, but right. Make sure to just tip it over. We were close to one of the best defensive clips ever witnessed in a 3v3 monthly. Well, it's those 3v3s that really make plays like that difficult to pull off. There's always someone else available, and you are able to commit that bit higher as well with the trust of your teammates behind you. VentuCorp again looks to turn around the game. They could not pull it off last time, but at the very least, they have a quality now.
Yeah, and the momentum is actually with VentuCorp. You have to remember what I said earlier. So far, every single game in this series, the team that scored first has gone on to win. That was VentuCorp in this game 4. They want to take us to Champions Field. They're going to have to do so in OT. It would be their second OT win of the series. But at the end of the day, Team 7, they've still looked very impressive. Not going to get it over the line at the first time of asking. That pass back from Zobas, not strong enough. Visek able to take it through. Good control. Gets the demo. Backboard help. Not there in time.
All over again. Rife wanted to pay Vex. Self set up. Looks for 2. Looks for 3. Still stays on. Has a player inside. It's Rafa. Would have found him. The VentuCorp player didn't get the touch, and that would have been sent to the lower bracket. The demo comes through. Those have been the difference makers. Not this time. Survival. Great 50 from Rafa. Zobas wants to finish the job, and Nishiti reacts well. It's a gameplay which feels like it's consistently chasing. It's not just a plan A when it's Team 7. They always have someone else prepared, and it's a lot to keep up with if you're the team on the defense. But VentuCorp been very impressive in that regard.
Yeah, both teams. I mean, after game 1, certainly off the post. Hit with the back of the car and not able to be there. Oh, third man pushed very high, but Rafa able to make a good block. Needs to get a second touch, and somehow does by hook or by crook. Pavex down the right side, sees 2 in front of him, wants one removed by a teammate. Might not need it. Backboard, no. No second touch, and Rife tries to bring it away. Just drops it down for Visek, gives him the best opportunity to move forwards. But now Pavex has the ball and has space, and that's a very dangerous combination.
Alia's ball over though. Rife, so well for that first touch. The reset could be it. Go straight for net! And Team 7 Esports get played out the park for a final opportunity. It's a simple numbers game after the demo, and Rife is just able to outthink his competition for one play. We're going the full distance. And I've expected to be here after that first game, but said it before, I've said it again. probably won't be the last time. VentuCorp are experienced professionals.
Yeah, it always feels like there is someone on the VentuCorp side when they get a game victory that just takes matters into their own hands. It was Nishiti in game 2, and now it's Rife. 870 on the scoreboard, 2 goals from 4 shots, 6 saves as well to boot. And I mean, again, do I feel coming out of this game 4 like Team 7 were probably the better side across the board in just on the eye test? Maybe, but that's probably the closest I've seen these two play across this whole series, right? I'm not coming out of that game going, oh, they played better or they played better. I think I saw a very even game in front of me, and for that reason, going to OT and then VentuCorp taking it again, they clearly have the ice in this competition, and that could be dangerous in Champions Field.
Yeah, it really could. I would actually say that I think VentuCorp did just slightly tip it over the edge for me in that last game, even if I was ignoring the scoreline. It was just very, very dangerous pressure. I felt like for Team 7, for once, I was more fearful of the counterattacks, which hadn't been the tale of the cards for the rest of the series.
Sure.
Usually it was pressure coming from the Portuguese roster. There's going to be pressure for both of these camps, though, because this is the field of dreams or nightmares. It's Champions Field for the upper finals.
Here we go. Hopefully not our only visit to Champions Field tonight, as Nishiti will try to just marshal this. Oh, Pavex, bit of a miss on that one. Gets another one. That one can be used more of as a fake, though. Rife tries to bring it away. Pavex off the right side. Still has an opportunity. Gets a touch. Gets an extra touch. And, well, he's actually not quite found the pass to his teammate. And now VentuCorp can move forward.
Oh, good angle, though, for Visek to try and take this one through. Beats his first man, beats the second. Rife has got to be there quicker. Gets it around Rafa. And he just makes that look so clean after a game that has been all crashing and bashing. This was ballet from VentuCorp as they glide their way to a Game 5 advantage.
Yes, a nice one to watch. Just knocking that ball over the last man. Following it through. Bit of team chemistry there coming through from VentuCorp. The power of friendship working well. Oh, Pavex, yeah, that's a little bit too powerful. Going to cause problems now for the Team 7 defense. Shot on, saved by Rafa. And a bump as well on the return. And I don't know, maybe the faster paced play across the entire field actually favors VentuCorp a little bit more, because as the game has worn on, they've really been able to flex their muscles and show their speed. But Rafa, pass, saved away by Visek.
Pavex. As that first touch is very heavy off the ceiling. This time, tried for the teammate. I don't like that force away from Zobas. We're at a time where I felt like they have wasted the ball somewhat in offense. Let's pick it back up, though, and VentuCorp may have just saved them with that double commit. Allows them to have players available at this midfield line whilst they have to chase back for those 100s. Visek was one of those players that had to. That demo afterwards will equal the playing field a little bit more. It's a great advancement through this pinch. Not going to be as favourable for VentuCorp as we've seen earlier in the series. Rafa will take it low. The 50 is good. Zobas is going to have to chase. Still struggling to find that infield pressure. It's been a very wide offense.
Yeah, it has. And now Rafa having to deal with Rife, and had to get that right. Because otherwise Rife had an empty net to aim at. Visek going to look for the same. What a 50. Tells Team 7 to get on the weights. But the save's still in from Zobas. Now Visek still with pressure, with possession. Pavex comes through and just makes sure that ball is Team 7's. But then it's lost once more. And VentuCorp giving Team 7 a little bit of a taste of their own medicine. Challenge everything. Get in their faces. Team 7 are struggling.
They really are. They've had some signs of offense. But like I said, it just hasn't felt like anything substantial yet. That one just too close to their net. VentuCorp plays easily, going to get there first, but central space. This is where the danger lies, and Nishiti has found it. Gives us a show. That first save coming through. It allows the follow-ups with those 50-50s as well. If you can't tip it into the corner, Team 7, they found that moment. Pavex gets the clear. And they get to take that sigh of relief for the time being, but you've got to stay focused. Gameplay continues.
It does. out of the corner. Team 7 know that they do need a goal relatively soon. That bump is good, but not enough. Rife is still there. Double commit in the air. Team 7 needs to take advantage of this. Off the right-hand side, but backboard defended so well by Vizek. Nice infield pass. That's going to find Rafa. But Rife making the big save. VentuCorp showing off their defense now. And it's so well measured as well. Their spacing on defense is perfect. Making sure that only one person goes when they have the opportunity, and always meeting Team 7 at the point of entry. With just over 60 seconds to go, it might be enough to send Team 7 for a date with an old foe in Orphée Esports.
Rafa can't get that flick over, and all three VentuCorp players stand in front of him. I'm not sure if that's necessarily a disadvantage. If this 50 goes well, could beat them all at once. No one is wide enough to pick this one up first, so instead Zobus wastes time, keeps it the correct half of the pitch. He'd like it, but the demo's going to make that difficult. It looks open for the time being, but Rife knows that respawn is coming, and Rafa rudely interrupts himself to VentuCorp with that first clearance. Rafa comes again, and it's those defensive efforts you're going to see from him. I casted him when he was first coming up. I got to see his 1v1 prowess, very mechanical in his own right, but of course the defensive consistency is there, but we need to see that action in the other third of the pitch now, because it is the 10-second call, and they can hear that countdown. VentuCorp just have to keep it safe, but you're going to see that overcommit come through from Payvex. It's just how it goes. They're throwing the kitchen sink. They have 100 boost. The redirect is heading to Rafa. That's in target. Vizek comes off the side. It's slammed down, and the experienced Spaniards progress. The Portuguese are sent to lowers.
Well, normally when a game is that good, we'd be starting our wrap-up now and saying congratulations, you're Redirect 3v3 monthly champions, but no, that is just the upper bracket, folks. We still have 2 more games left to play. Oh, if that doesn't get you excited about the rest of the night, I don't know what will, Pegasus, because what a game we've just seen.
And it was a shame that there was a game that we didn't see. That was Team 7 Esports versus Orphée Esports, that upper semi-final, which progressed Team 7 Esports here in the first place. That went all the way to 3 in the best of 3 format. Now we can actually see that played on the pitch, because they will be playing in the lower finals for that spot in the grands. They'll still have a disadvantage because VentuCorp do get that first game for free now. We do weighted best of 7s for our grand finals over here for the Redirect 3v3 monthlies. But this is one you have to stay tuned in for. If you leave at some point with the rest of this Redirect monthly, I do not know what you're doing, because these are 2 teams that have played some of the best Rocket League we have seen for quite some time for an opening matchup, as you mentioned before, Rhino. And I don't see that ending anytime soon.
No, I certainly don't either, Pegasus. And with that, we are going to give you guys a little breather, because we need one as well, and so do the players. But when we come back, we will find out who will face VentuCorp in the final of the Redirect 3v3 monthly. Will it be Orphée Esports, or will it be Team 7? Stay tuned to find out.
Well, you couldn't have asked for a greater start to the stream. We got ourselves a game going all the way to 5 in the uppers final. It was Portugal versus Spain. Spain came out on top. Portugal are knocked to lowers. And now it is time for the rematch of the ages. Team 7 Esports will be taking on Orphée yet again. We know that earlier in the bracket, they played at a best of 3 in that third game. It ended up getting won by Team 7, hence their introduction to stream earlier today. But Orphée, we've seen this team on paper right now, and I don't think there's any real surprise that they've been able to get themselves back to this top 3 spots, regardless of any humps that they faced along the way.
Yeah, and to be honest, there haven't been any of those across the day, Pegasus, to be like looking at Orphée's history. They have not lost a single game of Rocket League outside of that game that they lost against Team 7. Every single other one has been 2-0 sweep in their favour. So Orphée, a quality side, we know that they are the 3rd seed here in the redirect number 33, and so it's going to be an interesting one to see if they've learned anything from that earlier game, if they've learned anything from that earlier matchup against Team 7. Can they recover in time like VentuCorp were able to, and is a best of 5 going to help them in that way?
It is all about the ice in these upcoming matchups, and we have seen only 2 nationalities on the stream so far, but now the 3 that are most rampant typically every single month have finally made their appearance. It's England, it's Germany, it's France, it's Sloppy, MD and Chronomia. And well, French of course has a long list of names of players we've seen in the monthlies. For England, you think of the likes of Velocity, you think of Glifty and the like, and of course for Germany you think of Dreamy, who is the player who has the most redirect monthlies in history, alongside the likes of Velocity. So these are nations that are no strangers. However, Portuguese are certainly standing up.
Yeah, and there's an argument to say that chemistry may be the deciding factor in this game. We know that Team 7 have been working very well together. We have seen a couple of those double commits come through that they do need to fix against those better teams. But Orphée Esports, Slothy MD and Chronomia, I'm excited to see what they can come up with. They continue to impress during the rest of the event, but it might be that Team 7's playstyle is just a bit of a banana skin for them. We don't know until we see it happen in this lower bracket final. We are officially into knockouts though. Lose and you go home, Pegasus. It's all on the line now.
It certainly is, and these are 3 players that have competed in so many 3v3 monthlies. Their skill goes up, and as does their placements. But the new kids on the block have arrived, representing Portugal. It's time for the lower final.
Team 7 versus Orphée, a game that's already happened today, but not one that we've seen on stream. When the lights are the brightest, which side is able to make the difference? We have 6 players in the lobby, and we're ready for a fresh 5 minutes best of 5 in the redirect monthly number 33.
Orphée Esports, I mentioned it before. We've seen them in essentially every single monthly for the last 6 months at an absolute minimum. This is a trio that has stuck together for quite some time, managed by Booster. We've seen them represent the title of the likes of Ascend. They played under those colours, of course. MD, great clearance off that crossbar for the start. Just gets that touch onto the backboard as well. Rafa can't get it online. Zobas certainly does. It's a quick start from Team 7. These first games seem to be their stomping ground.
Yeah, and will we see a similar game to game 1 of the previous series, Pegasus? That's what I'm starting to think. They've got, what, 10-1 to beat? That's a difficult challenge, certainly. But I wouldn't put it past them, especially if this man is online. Pavex, great first series of the night. Gonna look to improve, gonna look to push on in this series as well. Orphée Esport are gonna try and get some aggression now. MD gets an extra touch, gets another one. Double commit. Slothy decides to go back as he is the last man. And so I think that was the right decision. Chronomia will still be the one to make the save.
All out now, Zobas Does well for the first touch, doesn't take it to ceiling instead. Goes straight for the mechanical play. MD does well for the block. Rafa gets it back to that wall. Chronomia continues contesting. Sloppy's not going to get to that ball first. Commits his flip early. Now Zobas just going to take it post to post. It's a great fake to open up this opportunity. Beats one man, sees that one's going to respawn, so knows that he has the time to camp there. That wouldn't happen in any previous monthlies.
No, and that's another thing that we need to talk about. Another change that is new in this version of the monthly is those respawn timings. You can see when they're about to come back, so you can judge it a little bit better as to whether you want to stick on a boost pad or twist and try and get across the goal line. Orphée Esport there taking advantage. Whoa, that's an absolute dart from Chronomia. From about halfway, Slothy wins that one, gets a 50 against Payvex that goes his way, and the shot over the top of the last man is beautiful. 1-1.
That was crisp from Slothy. Made it look like he was going to head towards that right wall, go for a simple self-setup. And you could see the entire opposing team played for that exact play. They just fought that one step ahead. He's made the difference. He could do it again. Flip resets. Will take it across one. Payvex on that backboard. Is challenged again. Zobas panic flips forward. Ends up being that perfect layoff pass. Slothy keeps it tight. And right behind lands that demo. Team 7 will be looking quickly respawn. Rafa. That's that dodge down. Chronomia is so confident on that challenge. And that has been a consistency in their play so far. They're not afraid to go for these tough chances.
Well, double commits on the backboard for Team 7, but it works out for them on this occasion. MD steals the ball. Chronomia now intercepting as that play is over to that far side. Off the ceiling. Chance here for Zobas. Drops it down. Rafa's there. Rafa scores. And the Portuguese side back in front. 2-1.
What a touch from Zobas. Is up so fast. Gets the finest of touches to send that one down, but no closer towards the net. And that space just outside a pocket of the 6-yard box made it way too easy for Rafa. It's a great kickoff right afterwards. The 50 is strong vote from Chronomia. It looked like those goals were going to come in pairs. Still a chance for it to do so. ND should be able to get the safety clearance. Will create an offense himself. Chronomia sends it towards the target. MD can't redirect that one down. Instead, plays the pass. Rafa will clear it out. Zobas now can sweep from his own lines. It's a rare passage of space. He sees his teammate down. The 50 was so close to landing perfectly. One of those plays that looks a lot more difficult than it may seem, but I love the idea from them constantly looking to feed a second man.
Yeah, absolutely. Team 7 in attack, certainly. They look really crisp, really clean. Haven't seen that their defense is lacking a little bit from time to time as far as the communication goes, and that has continued. That's a great 50. And MD, well, he's not going to score an easier goal than that. Chronomia does fantastically to stay with this play, get the 50 against Zobas. Rafa can't really do anything because otherwise he's going to hit the ball in the back of his own net. And it will be MD to finish the job. 2-2.
There's that first jump coming from Rafa where he realised there was going to be no way to flip that. Could have sent that ball over, but it has been a pause called in by one of the players. And I'm sure we'll get information of when that pause was called, because that could potentially change our scoreline as well. But what an opening game this has been. I said that I wanted to see these two teams face. I said that I was sad to not see these two teams play in that upper semi-final because, of course, we only cover the top 3 matchups. But I really hope it can keep this layer of consistency, because overall, I've really enjoyed the clash of styles. It is very teammate to teammate for both of these rosters. For Orphée Esport, it's been a lot more off the back of these really strong 50-50s after an individual effort. For Team 7, it's been a lot more give and go, and it's created just a nice dichotomy of one team playing rather fast and the other a lot more close and composed.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be an interesting one. I will say that the team who have called the pause were actually the team that scored the goal, so I would be surprised if there was an inquiry about the goal that has just been scored. but with Orphée being 2-2, yeah, it was MD who called the pause. So, yeah, apparently kind of, hey, sometimes the goal is too powerful and it just causes the game to freeze. That's just the way it goes at times. So, yeah, we'll wait for MD to get back into the lobby, but at the end of the day, we are just awaiting that restart. The pause was caused before kickoff, though, so it is what it is. And
sorry, yeah, I'm reading over at the admin conversations as casters have access, and they were asked if they wanted to dispute the goal still, even though it was them who scored, and Sloppy replied, I don't think so, bud.
Yeah.
I don't think that's fair enough. What a stupid question. Honestly, from the admin. No, of course, they're just all playing around to kill the time before all players are back in the lobby. But looks like they are actually returning to the pitch rather quickly, and our wait is very, very close to over. So 2-2 will be the remaining scoreline. It's going to be 1 minute 19 at the top of your screens. Of course, restarted from kickoff, and that fifth has potential to be the golden results. But to get themselves that opener, Team 7 Esports have typically favoured themselves in this regard, but this is a rematch of two teams that have proven these games can go the difference. That was a best of 3. How about this best of 5?
Yeah, I'll tell you something, it's going to be interesting if this game goes to overtime, because, okay, don't worry about it. It's not a concern. Rafa wants to get it wrapped up, and it makes a lot of sense, right? Because Team 7, so far on this main stream, haven't won an OT. Both times they've been involved in one, they have lost it. So I'm not sure the Portuguese would want to go to an overtime in any of the games in this series. And they've scored an all-important goal there. Still have to defend for 60 seconds. And actually, there's a chance here. Slothy just can't get the demo. If he did, we're talking about 3-3.
All over. Rafa looks for that catch, a flip. Just won't keep that ball close enough on the first touches. Sobas wants that ball inside. Orphée do well to stop it. Now it's Slothy again with that chasing opportunity. Has just picked up that 100 boost. That one's not on target, but Payvex still forced to make a clearance, and Team 7, a very deep set. So Orphée did have space on that midfield line, but end up just giving it right back to them. Then touch doesn't quite land for Slothy. Will give us a second attempt at that close control. Now MD looks for the side. Well, it doesn't land. Zobas will escape. 15 seconds. There's still a chance for the OT that Rhino was calling for, but it's not going to come from that first shot. Another needs to happen. They need to go coast to coast. And the demo does eventually land. It's all 3 Orphée players on the pitch, but Payvex just want to secure it on 0. It is salt in the wound. It's Team 7 with an opening victory.
There you go. That's going to feel pretty good for Team 7 as well, because after coming down from the upper bracket, you can struggle for mental. You can struggle to believe that, you know, it's your night. At the end of the day, they are able to get there and get the game number 1 over the line. So 4-2, Team 7 end up taking it. Orphée Esport, I mean, after the pause, just faded away, just weren't able to keep up with what Team 7 were putting forwards. They get that victory, and now moving into game 2, they have the momentum as well.
And we see 2 teams with logos here. You'd assume that they've got organisations behind them. I'm wondering if they've got themselves their own sponsored org-based chance to go alongside, but these are going to be 2 teams that certainly need it moving forward, because the games have been tight so far. Team 7 were able to squeak that one away, but Orphée felt like at any time that switch could be flicked and that scoreline could have been swapped. They were somewhat frazzled by that pause they just had to do beforehand, and Team 7 actually ended up being the team that were completely unfazed moving forward.
I do want to mention that, by the way, like, if they do have their own kind of, you know, sayings and all that kind of stuff, I'd like to put forward one for Orphée Esport, because, you know, rounds have load the rounds. There's all sorts of other ones. I truly believe if the Orphée Esport saying is "don't look back," I don't really know what we're doing here, and that's only going to, like, that only a few people in this chat certainly are going to understand what that means. But if you do, we can be friends. That's for sure.
I don't think we're friends right now.
We might not be friends.
I don't get that one, but as long as they do, that's all that matters.
I was going to say, I wonder if we've got anyone from Orphée in chat who knows what I'm talking about.
Well, we at least know Rocket League, ladies and gentlemen. We might not know where that needle will turn to, but we know there's going to be crashing, there's going to be all the demos, there's going to be goals. OT will be forced otherwise. These are two teams that so far have been providing it. Payvex, doesn't get that touch. Great start to game 2. However, we'll try and reset already off that opening play. Sloppy takes it from his own half off the corner. Rafa should be able to chase. If not, it will fall to Zobas. Sloppy's on that back foot. ND has to pick up from the pages. 50-50 between Sloppy. We'll keep this ball neutral. And again, this feels like it is going to be a game that was as close as the one before, but apparently I'm a caster curse, so we'll see if that happens again.
Yeah, we will. Forbidden Temple can cause a lot of problems in series. Certainly, if Team 7 Esports are able to get... Oh my goodness gracious, that's a miss from Rafa on that backboard. But yeah, if Team 7 are able to get this game and go to series point, you'd be hard-pressed to believe that they won't be going into that final. Surprises me a lot that Orphée Esports seem to find it so easy against every other team. They just, against Team 7, they really seem to struggle. That one just a little bit too high to dip down. We've already played about a minute and a half.
Sloppy, great ball back to Chronomia. Just has to get it over. The double tap doesn't land. Would want that first touch ideally underneath the crossbar regardless. MD off that ceiling has very little boost in the tank. Should be an easy clearance for Zobas. Has made a hash out of that first touch, but Rafa saves him from any disasters. 2 touches come out. Zobas will stop it yet again. We're approaching that 2-minute point now. Still not a goal scored for either side. This could be the chance. The crossbar is hit once more. And that's 2 opportunities run wayward from Orphée. A third? Surely not again. It is.
I mean, how much more can they do? What more do you need to do to score a goal against Team 7? Feels like they had so many opportunities there. Now down the other end, Team 7 won't be able to convert. Slothy, good clearance. Rafa intercepting, but he won't get there first. Drop down from MD. Good save from Rafa to keep the ball out of the Team 7 net. Zobas won't win the 50. Payvex next up to bat. Won't get around Slothy. And that aggression that Team 7 like to use so much is being used against them once more. The angle, no! Another chance, and finally converted by the Frenchman. Chronomia just off the left-hand post. You felt it was coming, and eventually they get it over the line.
About time, honestly, Rhino. It is about time. As much as I want to celebrate that goal for them, it should have happened minutes ago. They should be 2 goals, 3 goals even up by now. Instead, they don't have the insurance behind them. Team 7 just need that one breakaway. Get themselves back into the match. Rafa, great first touch. Resets collected. MDevo not going to fall for any of that trickery. Chronomia is there, wants to take it across. Payvex gets that first block. There's going to be more required because Slothy's got 2 touches. Rafa isn't going to be able to find a teammate. That 50 is going to be tough. Doesn't get a bump either. So Chronomia has free space heading into a corner. Needs a teammate to pick it back up. And it's Slothy again, who has been that really aggressive first or second man. And they have been caught in those positions. Here he is again, just looking to try and make some magic happen. He sees both MD and Chronomia across, but Team 7 have a player waiting first.
They can't get out. Team 7 just cannot get out of their half. Finally, they cross that halfway line. Payvex off the right side. Is there help? Yes, there is. Zobas reads the play beautifully. I've got to say, this feels like a misplay from Orphée. MD just sends that one into the middle. Probably wanted to actually try and get under that ball and send it over the top, over onto the far corner. Isn't able to do so, and it's all square, 1-1.
Yeah, pretty atrocious throw from Orphée. And this is why it's vital that you take your opportunities when they come, because they would have had that cushion by now. Instead, ready time, Team 7 to tip the scale. Sloffy doesn't want to let it happen. That one, though, again, just not finding the target. Obas wants to show off his efficiency. Payvex was up rather quick. Rafa looks for the top corner. A save. He's forced out by MD. There are 2 players out that near post, but still able to find their spacing in the recovery. Now it's 30 seconds to stand. Potential for an overtime. And Zobas, with that outlet pass, looks for something in regulation. Chronomia, though, a dangerous first touch. A dangerous 50 to follow, but Payvex clears.
Yeah, he does, and Payvex just avoiding that demo as well. Slothy goes over the top. Payvex can't read it. Rafa gets just enough of a touch to keep it out. And now Zobas, actually, has he got enough to get an extra bump? Maybe. Not going to happen. Rafa at the angle! Big save, Slothy. Demo comes through. Rafa wants to keep the play alive, but none of his teammates do. And we go OT.
Team 7 are played with fire. They either get burned or they extinguish. They've had those few opportunities forward. They've actually looked for more efficient side once they've had that space. It has been a pure numbers game so far for Orphée, though the only one that matters is that equal 1-1. It doesn't turn to 2. What a save coming from the 16-year-old. There he is again, first touch. That one's heavy, though. Could have been the mistake. Could have been the straw to break the camel's back. MD doesn't get a second touch either. Again, it's a really heavy touch. This time, though, chased by a teammate before an Orphée offensive player. That is very messy coming from Sloffy. But Chronomia somehow takes him out of danger.
Yeah, for sure. There's a chance. Payvex! Cleared away by Slothy. And things are getting a little bit heated here in overtime. Slothy takes a shot. Rafa sends it away. It's a powerful clearance, but only as far as Chronomia. Good touch there from Orphée. Ball across. Zobas goes to meet it. Doesn't get there. Now will be invited to attack. Zobas just can't take that ball through. There is a demo, but that shouldn't be enough. And Orphée can counter-attack. Chronomia backboard. Well marshaled. And now Team 7 tries to turn the tables once again. Payvex waiting to see what's going to happen with this touch. Oh, the shot looks for the top corner. Just misjudges it.
The 50 here from Payvex. So Sloffy looks like he'll win that aerial battle. The dogfight ends up neutral. There'll be MD. And now take the forward charge. Payvex up quick. Rafa landing that demo. Leaves space here in the corner. Now this counter-attack looks dangerous. Rafa was there first. It'll just all be Sloppy's in this corner. Payvex isn't able to beat his way through. It is 2 minutes of added time. Feels like we could reach 10 minutes at this point.
Yeah, we might get there. Ball into the middle, though. That's the chance. Oh! Questions asked, I think. Payvex won't be able to get that one. Now a chance into the middle again. Rafa trying to keep the pressure on, inviting the third man to move through. That is Payvex. Does get the ball, but it's not on target. Off that right-hand side, MD to clear away. Team 7 just suffocating Orphée in their own half right now. They should have won this OT, should Team 7. They have not done yet.
50s strong down to Payvex. Now both teams can say they've had weighted opportunities. Orphée had many during regulation. That was the big one in OT. Zobas going to be tested for his defense this time in front of his own net. Instead of the opponents. Chronomia in the corner. Gets it off that back wall. Payvex has got to read that. Does it confidently again. Chronomia across. And it feels like it's going to be a potential mistake to decide this matchup. Certainly in the shooting department. How's your defense as well? Rafa lays down, and they've really tried to work their space in the mid and haven't been granted that chance. Team 7 have blocked the passing lanes extremely well. And now, there's the opening they've looked for, but Chronomia can't get it over Rafa.
Oof. It's a nice idea, but Slothy's always going to be there with that passing field. MD trying to get through. He gets bumped off the play. Zobas tries to send it over Slothy, but he's up very early indeed. Still a chance. Slothy infield pass. Oh, there it is. A great pass inside. Low driven into the heart of the goal. And it will end up in the bottom right corner, courtesy of the Orphée defense. But Pegasus, Team 7, turn their fortunes around on the mainstream specifically, because I know they won an OT against Orphée in that semi-final, but we didn't get to see that. So as far as I'm concerned, it didn't happen. 2-1, they take the victory.
Haven't seen through. We just settled for what we see on our screens, and we saw quite the matchup here. Lots of wasted chances. That was potential to be one for Orphée Esports, but Chronomia eventually put this one away, and those chances started to come quick. You thought that this was going to be game over. And this was the chance. Shot on from Rafa, and Zobas parks his car to try not to get in the way, and the opposite ended up happening. But for this final shot, I would say it's actually a mistake from Orphée Esports. There was space outside that 6-yard box, but the shot actually really wasn't the best from Rafa. It was low driven, but it was straight at the first defender. The second defender had gotten a little bit creepy crawly. That back post was left way too open. But I said it was going to likely be an error to decide that last game. It certainly was going to be one offensively, of course. By the end of it, I felt like it was one defensively as well on the side of Orphée. Now forced in a reverse sweep position. It has gone the distance for these two teams before. That was in a best of 3. This is a best of 5 now for a spot in the grand finals for a taste of that prize pool as well. It would be a rematch again for Team 7 if they can take this victory. For Orphée, it will be a new soul to claim, but that is all to be decided potentially in this first, second or third game.
Yeah, and it's going to have to be 3 on the spin now for Orphée if they want a chance to get into that final. This game so far has not really been indicative of a sweep. It's certainly not been indicative of an easy victory for Team 7. They've had to work for it. 1 OT victory. They won game 1 4-2, but realistically it was more of a 1-goal game than anything. There's a chance here though for Zobas to get the scoring underway in game 3, and with just under 40 seconds gone, Orphée Esports, it's starting to be a little bit more of a hike to get back.
Great start. But this is what they do best. They inflict that pressure early, and they force their opponents either into submission or response. And we've seen the likes of VentuCorp fall into both of those categories at different times in the series. Oh, that's a great challenge from Rafa. It's going to be a tough read, though. He doesn't get there. Zobas hits the crossbar! And that's inexcusable.
Yeah, it is, really. Pavex going to try and make amends for his teammate. Lovely shot. Top left. What a save! How does MD get a hand to that? Absolutely unbelievable. Zobas trying to turn the corner. Chronomia will send it away, but Team 7 playing in game number 3 with all the confidence and momentum that they've built up over the last 2. Chronomia still trying to find the pass inside. It's not happening, as now Pavex sends it away and Rafa completes the clearance.
Fluffy. Oh, great 50 between them. That'll just land to Orphée. Had an opportunity to go a long field snipe. Instead, Rafa too close. Fluffy takes it over again. Once those second touches, way too easy for Zobas to follow. One touch is all he'll get. Back pass comes out. Zobas isn't close enough to the play. And loving the aggression from both of these rosters. They're very much giving us an MMA match right now. It's 2 gladiators at work. This is a long distance one again. Not going to find the target. Chronomia not going to be able to keep this one to himself. It is just a constant flip-flopping in possession.
And they're going to try and come back again. Pavex. Nice pass across. Zobas taking a shot. Chronomia easy really to save that one. Pavex wants to keep the play alive. Backboard not defended. Still a chance for a second man, but They don't want to commit, and Team 7 just playing a little bit... I don't think it's nervous. I just think it's more controlled, the way that they're playing right now. They've played a couple of times so far where it feels like they need a goal. It feels like they're pushing resources forwards, and it's difficult really to push them back. But when you do, you can get beyond them and get behind that back line. Not happening on this occasion. Less than 2 minutes to go. Team 7 only 1 goal up, though. The game of Rocket League can turn on its head so quickly. If Orphée are able to find something, then that will make for a very, very nervy final few moments of this game.
We're just heading to sub-triple-digit seconds now. And Orphée still haven't found that opportunity. This could be a great pass into Chronomia, but payback. Did reply fast, had Sobas still behind him. Now's going to be an option for Raptor's challenge. 2 players at that front post now. Avex, who's for that musty flick? Wow, get some height to it as well. But again, it's sloppy with incredible reaction time, but Zobas takes it over too. Rafa has a player right behind. It's not heavy enough off that backboard, but MD will make it a case actually for Payback. He could grow to regret that. It's a flip reset down inside, but Orphée somehow passed it out wide.
Yeah, and Rafa will be able to pass this one across, though. Team 7, even when they lose the ball, they just make sure that the next time that Orphée send it forwards, they are the team who have possession. It's exactly what they do there. Zobas down the left. Has he found the pass? It's a little bit heavy! Off the post from Pavex. Rafa gets stuffed immediately. Now Slothy down the left side. Trying to get beyond his man. Not able to do so. And Zobas will clear only as far as Chronomia. 30 seconds to go. If Team Esports, if Team 7 hold on to this lead, then they will be going into the grand final after a 3-0 victory in the lower final, which I'm not sure we've seen too many times before, Pegasus, but you certainly wouldn't have expected it against these two sides.
Certainly wouldn't, but Team 7 have really stepped up today. This has been a wonderful introduction to the Redirect Monthlies. Again, they look to try and plant on the second. They did this beforehand. A real professional experience roster would take this one to the floor. Instead, it stays high, and Orphée Esports have been given one final-ditch effort. Now one defender out for play. The second's gone, but it hits the floor, and Team 7 are going to the grand finals. They've won their first rematch of the day against Orphée Esports. It's going to be a tougher matchup against the team with that first game weighted against them. VentuCorp return to the screen.
And there's no surprise factor now. You can't go into that game and play your brand of Rocket League and they've not seen it before. VentuCorp know exactly what Team 7 want to do in this grand final. But they are playing with momentum. I thought they played very well across this entire series. And just watching that replay again from Zobas, don't know really how he was able to miss that shot, but it did happen. I mean, I certainly wouldn't have hit it, so there's that argument. But I'm not playing in the top 3 of a Redirect 3v3 monthly, am I? So it makes a lot of sense. But I mean, Pegasus, Team 7 are really gonna want that revenge back against VentuCorp. So it should be interesting to see how they plan to get it for themselves.
They look like a team that's very capable of that as well. Their peak potential is so unbelievably high, and to already have Orphée Esports as one of those teams that they've taken down twice is nothing short of incredible. This is a team that has been competing in every single bubble tournament to ever exist in the world, and they certainly have been playing in a lot of Redirect 3v3 monthlies, and this is talking about the players, of course, MD, Sloppy, Chronomia themselves. To be able to beat a team of such chemistry and such experience alongside each other twice in one day, and of course put VentuCorp onto the final game of a series, should be a positive outlook for Team 7 Esports. Of course, these are 3 players that have played together for quite some time, but they look to have reached a new peak and a new level. So we'll have to see how they fare in that grand finals. Of course, that will be on our screens very, very soon. So make sure that you stick around for the matchup. It is going to be for all the marbles to dish out for 100 Great British pounds of prize pool we have in a redirect 3v3 monthlies. Can we crown some new champions and induct those to the Hall of Fame? We'll just have to find out after this short break. Well, what a foundational start to the Redirects 3v3 monthly has been so far. We've seen a game go the distance. We've even seen a sweep in the lowers, and it will be a rematch of that upper finals that we saw beforehand. Still, of course, myself, Sir Pegasus, and Rhino bringing you all the action. And Rhino, what a group of games this has been so far. Team 7 Esports were able to pile on the pressure with VentuCorp. This is a full Portuguese side taking on a full Spanish, a Portuguese side that we really haven't seen have this caliber of performance in any competition ever. So it feels like we are discovering something special here.
Yes, it certainly does, but by the same token, it also feels like, you know, when you've got like a movie franchise that you know is coming out that's releasing 2 films, right? Part 1 and Part 2. We've seen Part 1. Part 1 absolutely smashed the box office. So much earned over the first weekend. It sold millions and millions and millions of tickets. I need Part 2 to be just as good as Part 1, Pegasus. I need this to go the distance. Another Champions Field, but this time with 6 games played rather than 5. It would do wonders. It would do numbers, and that's exactly what we want to see.
2 nations clash for the second time for today's stream. VentuCorp take on Team 7 Esports. It's the very familiar trio of Rai31, Nashiti, and Vizek to take on Zovas, Rafa, and Payvex. We've said that this Spanish side is Redirect heritage, looking to get themselves back into the Hall of Fame, but on the side of the Portuguese, some new names potentially to be added, just like we saw for Monthly 32.
And what's also interesting about this VentuCorp lineup is it wasn't actually these 3 who won the Redirects Monthly back in number 30. Rife and Vizek came back, but they were actually playing with Psych back in that month. So Nashiti, as far as I can see, has not won a a Redirect monthly yet, unless he was playing with Isaac and Rife in that monthly number 25, which I need confirmation of. But an interesting one nonetheless, where it's been a while since Nishiti has won, at least if he has. So to see him lift the trophy again would be good. But you're right, Team 7, an unknown quantity, a team that we wouldn't really have expected to have been in this position at the start of play. But now, a chance to rewrite history and a chance to get themselves in the Hall of Fame. Let's see if they can do it.
And I hope they're feeling confident. I hope they've been able to calm down those nerves. Team 7 Esports have been able to keep themselves warm with that lower final matchup. But VentuCorp have had their time to settle. There is going to be absolutely no complaints when it comes to their fatigue. They'll be locked in, raring and ready to go to press forward. There is so much on the line for these players, especially those on Team 7 who are looking to just establish themselves in the scene. But VentuCorp, they've been here before. Can they do it again? This is the matchup to decide that.
Certainly is, and I have been told that Nishiti was indeed in that victory winning team. So number 25 looking for number 33 though, as VentuCorp take on Team 7. Will it be the tried and tested Spanish roster or the new blood coming from Portugal? Myself and Pegasus, let's find out.
We have had 4-time champions of the Redirect 3v3 monthlies, and that is to the player. But never in its over 3-year history have we ever seen an organization take that championship twice. VentuCorp return to this spot with the advantage to the best of 7, but Debutant look to change the course of this potential history in the making. We have kickoff, ladies and gentlemen. The rematch is underway.
And you can see, as always, in the Redirect 3v3 monthly, the team coming from that upper bracket already have a game victory to their name. VentuCorp only have to win 3 in this one. Team 7 have to win all 4. Makes it a little bit difficult if you're coming from lowers. And that is why we always say at Pegasus, this first game is so important in the context of the grand final.
Or 50 down. Zobas already takes it across. Could be a quick entry to the top of our screens. Instead, Rife try and take it forward. We've seen a lot of midfield battles today. This has been pure European Rocket League. You're not going to see this in any North American iteration. Nishiti, too heavy of a first touch. Zobas doesn't get it himself, and a little bit of nerves coming in from the lesser experienced roster. That's 2 misses in a row. So ultimately, not punished with that ball in the back of their own nets. No resets there either. Zobas' strike doesn't have much behind it either.
Something you see a lot from young teams is not a lack of defensive knowledge, but they certainly don't like playing defense as much as they enjoy attacking. That is for sure. You can see that with Pavex right now, but that will come with time. Just got to continue to play at the top level, and that's what we do here in the Redirect 3v3 monthly. Chance for the first goal of the grand final, and it's Isaac to convert.
The Portuguese do fall. And it felt like this was coming. A lot of overcommit heading into that corner. And of course, we did see just a straight up mechanical errors and whiffs from a few plays beforehand. Spain trying to prove themselves as the best from the west of mainland Europe. And so far, they can hold that title. Already been able to beat down this team once. And already having a better start than they did in that previous series as well. That first game advantage, if they can double it at the end of this first, we say it every single time.
We do.
That is going to be such a vital swing for the remainder of this series.
Yeah, it's important. It's really important to try and win this if you're coming from lowers. And there's a couple of different schools of thought. The bump is nice, but save is better. Couple of different schools of thought when we come from the lowers, and again, we've gone through these so many times over the monthlies, but if you are new here, if you've played in the lowers, then you've got that momentum to build on. Certainly in Team 7's case, you're working off the back of a sweep, so you've got that mental advantage. And you've also got those hot hands, right? You've just been playing competitive for the last hour, whereas VentuCorp have had to sit on the sidelines, watch what's been happening. However, once again, the other school of thought is VentuCorp haven't lost yet today in a series, so they're also going to be having that mental strength. And they've also had the chance to go into free play, try to build on some of the issues that maybe they had in that upper final. And there's a chance here. Visor, good save by Zorbas.
Both teams trying to outplace each other, but one thing that's guaranteed is they've both been able to outplace the world champion. Just a reminder that this has been a Redirect 3v3 monthly where we did have the likes of Scrub Killer competing off stream a little bit earlier in the competition. These two teams have proven that there definitely is a new generation in the scene, so to speak. They also have outplaced Tadpole, who was a prolific player turned coach now in the scene. But this is what the modern game brings you. A lot of mechanics, a lot of fast-paced action, a lot of youngsters with a don't quit attitude. Comes down here for the Sheety, and it does sneak all the way. 2-0 VentuCorp.
This is lovely. Just taking it through, has the control, knows that he's going to play that 50, and actually just waits on the ball a little bit so he gets the second touch. Drops it down. And that will be 2-0 with 1:16 to go. We know that Team 7 can score a lot against VentuCorp, but it looks like a new VentuCorp, a team that don't want the scars of the past to define them. And it will certainly feel that way if Team 7 are able to score 2 in the next 60 seconds.
Rafa takes it up for himself, gets a reset, bounce off the ball. That's giving right space. The counter's quick. 3 swift goals for VentuCorp. The last two in either flashier of a succession. Team 7 really haven't had a foothold in this game whatsoever. This has easily been their worst performance of the night.
Yep, you're absolutely right. They just haven't got going in this game, and it may be another situation with when we talk about the inexperience. Long days of Rocket League are tough to maintain your mental and your ability right the way through. You will have peaks and troughs. You will have games where you play lights out. You'll have games where you don't play well enough. And the players at the top of the game understand that, and they know that they can bring themselves back from, not playing especially well in one game to next game looking like the world beaters that we know they can be. Team 7 still maybe just looking to learn that lesson. And after, I think it's maybe 5 hours now of Redirect 3v3 monthly. Sorry, 4 hours, just over. It hits the post. That's pretty ridiculous. And the save on the goal line is excellent as well. There might still be a goal. There is not. VentuCorp take the win. But the point still stands that Team 7 need to get used to these long days of Rocket League and playing at top level throughout.
It's all about that consistency when you are a top roster, because at the end of the day, you do want to be the very best. It's brackets where your seasons always end, and you slip up once in a single elimination, which most of the top level is nowadays. You are really going to struggle to pick yourself up championships. And of course, we have seen a fair bit of consistency today to be here in the first place, but this is the big one. This is when all that pressure really applies on top of that, and that's when you can start to get a little bit exposed to that fatigue that we were speaking about before. But VentuCorp, obviously absolutely no strangers to this kind of situation, and it really did show in that last performance. That's the VentuCorp I'm more used to, planting on the pressure, keeping it very, very aggressive, very aerial based as well, I do notice.
Yeah.
When it gets close to ground, usually you have a player like Rife who's so good at those ground volleys outside the box. It should be a team that if you're playing against them, they have to make you feel trapped, otherwise they're clearly not playing out their best. There are some teams that like to sit back, play for counters, or play a bit of a safe midfield game. That's not VentuCorp. They want you to feel stressed throughout.
Yeah, they do, and they kind of had that go against them in the first game of the upper final. Obviously, Team 7 brought that to them, and they turned it around on them, and they struggled against it. But as the masters of that game style, they eventually got control back, and now they're in this position where it feels like they are that little bit quicker than Team 7. The thing that I want to bring up about VentuCorp more than anything is the way that they are taking 50s. And I'm going to be watching specifically for it in this second game, because it really feels like they have mastered the art of playing high percentage 50s at any place on the field, and Team 7 aren't really ready for them.
How they scored one of their goals in the previous game. I believe it was Nishiti with the aerial 50-50, but somehow took its way under and through a VentuCorp defender. And it is simplicity of a 50-50 that I really do love, because it does have, despite its appearance, slight complications, they will completely turn around your game. I mean, it's the most common used mechanic, I guess you could say, in 3v3.
Yeah. But
Cross.
by the same token, when we're talking about them at this level, they're never truly 50-50, right? Like,
no,
you know, we call them 50s, but at the same time, there is always a player who is reading it a little bit better, who has the positioning of the ball a little bit better than their opponents. It's never really right down the middle as to who wins it. It is sometimes. It certainly is sometimes. But yeah, most of the time they're measured. That's a good save. It might not matter. It won't. Team 7, the Giant wakes up. Bottom left-hand corner. Pavex making a really good play down the right wing. And then Zobas just nicks in front of the VentuCorp defense. It's 1-0.
It was click from a double reset and a boom as that final shot was sent. Trigger pulled. Team 7 have arrived to play in the grand finals, and it had to happen now. Any further win for VentuCorp would give them a reverse sweep requirements. That doesn't look to be the case. Another flip reset. This one sent across. Pavex is there faster, and the cherry is picked from Rafa.
They wouldn't do it again, would they? Minute and 10 seconds gone. They're already 2 goals. I'm starting to think about that game 1 from the upper finals again. VentuCorp, as we mentioned back then, must stop the bleeding, and Nishiti is not going to get it done with plays like that. So awkward. And now Zobas looking for the pass. It's over the top from Pavex. Team 7 needs to capitalize on the way that VentuCorp have started game 2.
Isaac puts it over. Zobas going to be able to catch that second touch. VentuCorp get it again, and it was a bit of a bunch up towards that left wall for VentuCorp players to see a blue. Zobas try and calm those tides. Instead, it's Rafa now on that 50. Pavex positioned well behind them. I've seen a lot of these plays here where they haven't taken that extra touch to go higher, trying to force through these flip resets, and VentuCorp just aren't falling for it. You see a change in plan of them just taking that extra bit of effort to take it over instead. Like, you're going to see the power in that simplicity. For now, though, they'll still settle for that 2-0 lead they have, but there's plenty of time on the clock for that to change, and that's either side.
I don't know how this happens. Like, where are the VentuCorp defenders? There's only one player going for that ball in the midfield. There is surely no rush, you would think, to try and get a goal back right now with 2 minutes 40 left on the clock. I just don't know where their resources ended up going. And suddenly you're facing a 3-goal deficit. Good turn here, but not really getting too much done for VentuCorp. And maybe again they are going to treat this game a little bit like game 1 of that upper final and kind of say, well, maybe we're not going to get anything done in this game. They're not pressured to. They're 2-0 up in the series. There's another opportunity here for Team 7, but Rafa doesn't quite get the angle correct.
That's an angle that I would have backed him for as well, and VentuCorp certainly did with the way their defenders were placed. And I'm not sure if 4 is going to be the requirement. We have seen some high-scoring games right now. I must say, it's been quite a range all around, even in amongst the specific series. 2 minutes of VentuCorp, they have actually been the team that consistently have shown they can climb back from behind. But Team 7 are all too used to that now. Vitek makes the first save. Pavex takes it lower. It's a wonderful little trick. Gets the flip reset. And the play will be as well. Send that to the center. Restart your kickoff. VentuCorp try us for 4.
Trying to make sense of Rocket League is sometimes just such a useless thing to do. Like, games like this make me think, what are we even doing here? It's 4-0 to Team 7 based on game number 1, and even the other 4 games that we had in the upper finals that weren't game 1. Like, this shouldn't happen. It really feels like Team 7 have found another gear that they just don't seem to have a majority of the time. I don't really, as I say, I don't really understand where this has come from the Portuguese side, but they are able to go 4-0 up with 60 seconds left. It would take a monumental effort from VentuCorp to prevent Team 7 from winning this game. Pavex moves down that left-hand side. He wants another one. He's not going to find with that. But then Visek's trying to score in his own net. What are we doing here?
Well, here you go. A shot on the other side. It was on target. Pavex, though, was just able to get that save. It's a pinch across. Rapper leaves that one so fast. That's great communication. No way that's going all the way. It's actually not crossbar. Will deny, but I was concerned over the defensive positioning of VentuCorp. The offense isn't strong enough either. Once more, it's been way too easy for Pavex to tip this one to the side. Right back. Center. This should be dangerous. You've got a second, man. You've been bumped off. It's fine.
Can production call GG for them? Is that allowed? Can we bring that into the rule book? Because
we haven't seen the sentient lower thirds in a while.
That's
it must
true.
be said.
That's true. It's been a minute. 15 seconds. 5-0. I mean, so I've just seen in chat someone mentioned that like Team 7 have woken up. Have they? Yeah, like, yes, don't get me wrong, they're 5-0 up, of course they have, but VentuCorp making some very uncharacteristic mistakes and changes as well. I am left relatively speechless, and considering it's literally my job to talk, Pegasus, that should say a lot.
It was 5, it could have been 6 for Team 7. And I never knew that they were such good hypnotists. That's honestly what it felt like in that last game. Sure, you can say they woke up, but VentuCorp was sent to sleep, and at times, their allegiances were tested. As you said, Visek almost scoring in his own net at a later stage of that last game. Maybe this is just one that's always guaranteed when these two play each other.
There's always one game. There's always one game where Team 7 just absolutely steamroll. I mean, look at the scores on VentuCorp. 110, 160, and 234.
So poor.
That's such a poor game from everybody on the VentuCorp side. And they still managed to put out 6 demos across that game somehow. I don't know. I really don't. I hope we get a more competitive game coming into this game number 3, because that one was a write-off from the first minute.
3 saves from VentuCorp as well, and they conceded 5.
Yeah.
That is a very, very negative record to be leaving from. There was also 7 demos for VentuCorp, but it still felt like there was an extra Team 7 player on the pitch, not one less for a majority of that game. But
it did.
They've been able to come back from 10-1, so they faced the tougher challenge a little bit earlier in today's action. They also are still ahead, technically, in that series score, thanks to that game won by, but they earned themselves with that upper final performance. So it's definitely not all doom and gloom for VentuCorp, but definitely one that maybe later down the line, if this series is still ongoing, you would look at that matchup that should have gone the other way. That's the one that's going to play in the back of their minds when they go to bed tonight.
Yeah, you would think so. But by the same token, games like that won't affect VentuCorp as much as they would if Team 7 lost 5-0, for example. I truly believe that based on what I've seen from both of these players and the way that they're able to carry mentals forwards. VentuCorp, I need to remind you, lost 10-1 in Game 1 of the upper final and still came back to win that series. So, whoa! Come on! Oh, what are we doing? Like, it's a nice shot from Pavex. It's a better save. But Visek, what on earth are you doing there?
It is unfortunate, bro. It is really unfortunate.
Is it? Why is he there?
How does that ball bounce at him? He wanted the first touch, is forced to go low instead, wants to leave the space for Nishiti. He is right sentient lower thirds. It has been a while. That's goal 1. Now we'll open up game 4. Well, game 3, that's been played, of course.
Yeah.
But VentuCorp need to get it together. If they want to score, we've got to do it quick. They might do so. Nishiti tucks it in the bottom corner. And if I was posting out, I would have lost my mind. But the players have managed to find theirs.
Now we got a game on our hands. 1-1, less than a minute played. Here we go. Sit forwards in your chairs. Crack your knuckles, because it's time for some Rocket League. Both goals so far scored by VentuCorp. Yes, that is correct, looking at the scoreline. As now off the backboard, Visek looking to send it away. Will only find Pavex, who pops it high. Nishiti just sitting on the backboard, will be able to send it away. Visek trying to bring it through. No, Zobas off the backboard, but again, backboard defense strong from VentuCorp, and they can break out of their half.
Right, up high, Nishiti into that left wall. It's got no boost behind it, no power either. Rafa's awkward for that. 50-50 is a favoured VentuCorp historically. They survive this time. Pavex has got a flip reset. It pops well onto that backboard. It's available for a second. The first block is there, and the third gets involved. A pre-pronged attack from Team 7 Esports, like a game of whack-a-mole. You think you've taken down one, you think you've taken down another. They just keep on coming.
They do. And Team 7, they love that style of play. They love that style of offense where they just put all of their resources forwards. And it does work out for them a majority of the time, but when it doesn't in a pretty spectacular way. Rafa sending it back down towards the VentuCorp goal. Able to get past one, but not a second. Now Rife gets over the top of one, but gets bumped off the play. Pavex does well to bring the ball under his spell, but dropped down nicely from VentuCorp. Rife down the right side. Oh, trying to get the challenge. Can't do so. Demo onto Rife as well. Sorry, onto Visek. Now Pavex down the left, looking for the pass in field. Not going to find it. VentuCorp should be able to bring this one away, but actually a lack of boost makes it difficult.
Pavex as Visek chasing close to the second man as well. Nishiti just waiting for a spilled ball out, but well controlled from Team 7. They managed to keep it in possession as well. Not going to be no follow-up touch as well on that first ball. Visek is sent over. This could put up that redirect opportunity. I thought that was going to be a bit of a dirt play turn to gold. Instead, he is back in the centre. Pavex just happy to recycle it back. This is what they did so well, especially in the upper finals. Has been somewhat absent ever since, it must be said. I'm glad to see it return. That's where I feel like they do play at their very best when they are playing that possession game. VentuCorp typically can respond well to it. That's just two teams playing at the peak of their abilities. Nishiti, and this is going to be all Rafa's 50 strong.
Yeah, I mean, compared to what we saw in the previous game, this is certainly a higher level from both sides. Ball off that left-hand side. Visek just trying to slow down the attack and maybe not doing a good enough job of it. Second man not present though. Visek gets the clearance. It's not on target. Zobas still feels the need to go and clean things up and gets past two. Shot on. Not powerful enough to get past Nishiti. He actually wasn't able to get the 100 boost either. Does go back for it with a teammate able to challenge. And Rife losing possession. Rafa right side, looking to get in front of goal, playing the 50. Oof, just not going to be able to work out. Visek, nice double save. VentuCorp can't clear just yet. Visek does. Rafa back in, out of the corner, but Rife should be able to clear past the halfway line. Isn't allowed the opportunity, and now there's a chance for Zobas. Saved by Visek.
I've noticed with Team 7 when they're in the attack, once they are shifted to that second man position after their challenge, usually when they have that 50-50 decision of do I rotate to turn back, or do I rotate to turn forward? They're constantly turning forwards. And as much as that can leave them susceptible to counterattacks, makes them so dangerous with the offense should they be able to sustain it. Here it is again. Gonna be Zobas. 50'd out. Good land to Visek. No reset to follow. Rafa instead will take it towards the wing. Still waiting for that opportunity to cut inside. His patience from Nishiti in front. We see all three blue cars ahead of us, but no one is able to regain possession of the side of Team 7. They've just got the clock to play for now. VentuCorp still need to find the back of the net. If this is dangerous at that front post game, Rifle put it back towards that wall. Visek across. Nishiti down! And the ice returns for VentuCorp. We could have ourselves an overtime.
And need I remind you what happened in the overtimes in the upper final? It was always going in VentuCorp's favor, and it looks to be the case once again as 0 seconds drops. Is that on target from Preshow? Well, we won't find out. No OT required. Team 7 at the death. Nishiti had to be sure about winning that 50. I think he was, but little did he know how fast Payvex was.
What a recovery from Team 7 in this grand finals. Of course, they don't get game 1. They look the absolute worst team in the second. And then in the third and fourth, they've really stepped up to what it takes to compete in a redirect 3v3 grand finals. And now the tone has changed.
Yeah. It certainly has. Team 7 win 2 games back to back. VentuCorp haven't won since game 1 of this one, and all of a sudden that now means we are level. Pegasus, it now means both teams need to win 2 games, 2 of the remaining games, in order to take home the victory. So game 5 locked in. That is for sure. We will be getting a game 5 played, a game 6 on the screen. You get it. Whether we will get a game 7, that's still yet to be decided, and it won't be decided in this next game either. But one of these teams is for sure about to get their series point, Pig, and I wouldn't like to guess which one it will be.
No. I think we're past the point of predictions now when it has come to these 2 rosters. It's been about the 5 minutes every single time. You think a team is in great form, it all falls apart of the next. You think a team is looking awful, all of a sudden they start to step up. Weird things happen in the grand finals, especially here for the redirect 3v3s. We've had 32 iterations, 32 champions. It's time for a 33rd. Is it going to be the fresh blood or a repeat organization for the first time? The head start can be obtained now.
It's the question. And VentuCorp starting very, very well. And there's a chance. What a save! But it will still be converted. Right into the top left corner. VentuCorp were not leaving the Team 7 half without a goal right there. And they do get one.
There was actually Payvex, the decider of that last game, who didn't get that touch out of his net initially first. That's what led to a really desperate effort to get the second. By that time, they were already outnumbered. Not the greatest start. Usually it's Team 7 that get those early goals. They still can. Bump attempted by Zobas. This has to be open. Quick response coming from Team 7. Never count them out.
Rife and Rafa to get us underway in game 4. VentuCorp early on, but Team 7 responding kind. And now all level again until Nishiti has something to say about it from kickoff. And we've not seen double digits goals in a game for a while. This one might be it.
Yeah, that's a tilter. Straight afterwards, you've gone through all the hard work, but I feel like we've seen Team 7 Esports grow as this day has progressed. This isn't the upper final anymore. They've had those extra series in. They've had that moment to believe. Rafa has been the catalyst for this roster. He was the player that we expected to make the difference for this team. Like Payvex has definitely stolen that title for me as the day has continued. Okay, it cannot be understated. The super potential Rafa can have to this grand finals. We have had already a few close opportunities since that second goal for VentuCorp.
Absolutely. And Zobas looks for a lovely pass, Payvex, but the shot just not quite there from Team 7 on this occasion. VentuCorp will clear. Rife down the left side. Payvex waited on that challenge. I don't know, a little bit too long maybe for my liking, but still was able to bring it away down that side. Ball off the right wall for VentuCorp. Knocked back, and Rafa almost got the all-important bump. Wasn't able to on this occasion. Now Rafa reset, looking to get the shots. Rife is right there on the scene to clear it away, but Team 7 Esports continue to press forward.
Nishiti beaten by Rafa. It feels like it could go either way. Rife, that was a wonderful recovery. Get those few touches forward. Zobas looks for the cheap shot across. This will go off the back wall of a second. Nishiti positioned well just to get that clearance out. Isaac is going to get the ball himself, settling for the 100. Leaves that strengthened their position. I wonder how he's feeling about that now, because now Team 7 have ignited this attack. You cannot give this team a passage. They will find it. Payvex leaves this one, gets the save, pinches actually alongside Zobas. Rife should win this race. Over half the game gone. VentuCorp currently standing with that advantage. Times do seem like they could change at an instant.
Yeah, the advantage is a slim one, isn't it? Pegasus right now. Isaac looking to increase it, give them a little bit of a cushion. Nishiti right hand side. Well defended once again by Team 7, and they convert defense into offense. Musty over the top. Will go over the bar. And now Rife to try and bring it away. Demo further down the field. Rafa backboard. Isaacs clears, but a double commit from VentuCorp leads to issues. But oh my goodness, off the crossbar. Still alive. It's cleared away. But VentuCorp, their goal is living a very, very charmed life. Payvex looking for a chance, gets a bump, nothing more.
Nishiti will leave this one, and Rafa doesn't fall for that fake. Now this is free for Zobas up high. It's just too tough of an angle to find on target. Instead, it's lucky to keep it close again. It stayed on that for quite some time. Nishiti will change it. 2 touches on target. And Zobas wasn't challenged, not enough power behind it. But now we can start to see, well, it is VentuCorp who can pile on. All they need to do is maintain possession for 60 seconds. Zobas! Where did this come from?
Let's talk about this for a moment. What a strike. Upper 90, top corner, postage stamp, whatever you want to call it. I call it a clip for the show reel. 58 seconds left on the clock. And Team 7 are going to feel really good about that one. You just know that VC just exploded.
Oh!
And Zobas at the double to turn the game around.
Looks to be the hero for Team 7 Esports. The momentum was against them, but oh, how that has swung in their favour in the grand finals to put themselves on match point. 45 seconds to hold the fort, but VentuCorp know what it takes to throw a late siege.
Yeah, they do. They've done it before. Oh, that's a big clearance. Chance for Payvex. Wants Rafa. Nice pass down, but Payvex won't be able to make anything of that. 20 seconds. Nice pass across. There is Payvex again.
Oh.
This time saved by Rife on the goal line. Zobas looking for a cheeky shot at the near post. Doesn't happen for him. No boost to pick up for VentuCorp though. They're going to need to try and press that accelerator button, but unfortunately, they don't even have possession. Zobas, reset, cleared away. Is there someone there? It doesn't matter. Team 7 get the ball on the ground, and the grand final has been turned on its head.
We are seeing the chapters written for one of 2 very different stories. If Team 7 pick up this next result, it will be the greatest debut for an organization in Redirect 3v3 monthly history. But if VentuCorp managed to pull off 2 in a row, that title is scrapped and is changed to what have been the greatest organization in Redirect 3v3 monthly history, the first to ever secure 2 championships. But so far, it has been the Portuguese, it has been Rafa, Pavex, and as soon as the last game, Zobas, that has given Team 7 Esports that match point position. We go to the coveted grounds now. Only Neo Tokyo and a potential champions field remain.
You say a potential because you wouldn't really want to put it past Team 7 right now. The way they were able to turn around that game number 4, absolutely incredible. VentuCorp didn't have an answer for them. I mean, they started the game really well, but faded away towards the latter stages, and now Neo Tokyo. I said at the very start, I wanted this game to go Game 7. I wanted Part 2 to live up to everything that Part 1 had. But right now, VentuCorp have got to show me why they deserve to get there.
Here we go. They've taken their breaths. Now it's time to exhale and pull the trigger. And already a neutral start for both these teams. We've seen early goals in, I must say, a majority of the games on stream today. It's always a very different energy when you get to those final 2 maps in a rotation, the most historic maps in Rocket League competitive history. And of course, the Redirect 3v3 monthly is no stranger of those very same accolades.
For sure. Pavex just going to take this one around the right-hand side. It's the reset, but you get immediately challenged like that. It's really difficult, especially when you don't have the pace behind that aerial that you're going for. It's difficult to get around the rushing defender. Pavex, pass to Rafa! Team 7, one hand on the trophy, 1-0.
They've reached for that final run. And Rafa has started to pull the team up. It's a great pass as well coming from Pavex. What a performance it has been from that 16-year-old. The one to provide for Rafa, the one to provide for the player we said would lead the charge for this team. But too much time on the clock. Let's not call it too early. Rafa going for one of those recycled passes. I said I wanted to see those return. Here's some passes just regular inside. Zobas takes it to the back corner. Zoenberg to defend. Wivey left is so open. The Sheety clears it out. This is shambolic from VentuCorp, and Team 7 recognise every gap.
Well, VentuCorp could be going out of the Redirects 3v3 monthly number 33 with a whimper. As Team 7, after that first game in this grand final, we had question marks. We weren't sure. Don't do it, Payback. We all saw what he wanted to do there. Just didn't quite get the right angle on the car. But he's going to try now. The pass inside. Not quite going to work. But Team 7 have answered all the critics. And as far as an introduction into the Redirect ecosystem goes, you can't ask for much better. There's 3. VentuCorp are crumbling at the seams.
They've taken on the world. They've taken on the main countries of Europe. They beat a team with an Englishman, a German, and of course a Frenchman. Now taking down a full Spanish roster in the grand finals. Portugal look to stand at the tipsy top of Europe.
Yeah, they do. Rife sends it away. Zobas backboard. And Team 7 will not change their strategy right here. They are absolutely going to make sure that they stick in VentuCorp's half. Make it difficult to escape, as they have done for pretty much this entire grand final. Problem is, they've got Nashiti on the other side, who will be able to get beyond. Nice pass into the middle. Zobas clears away. It's a double commit from Team 7, but it won't matter if they score at the end of it. Crossbar!
Oh!
That could have been the dagger, but we play on.
4 just feels too heavy. You're right. I can see VentuCorp coming back from 3. We've seen it before. How could I deny them? But if Team 7 can pick up that 4th, they can stop playing for offense at that point.
Yeah.
They can play a lot more safe, sit back with that 3rd man, and sure, you can send those 2 forward. You know that they're capable of just passing that ball back so they get too dangerous. That's a really, really dangerous team to give that kind of advantage. Zobas almost went alone in a 1v3. Instead, his teammate's been called for on the side. There's been a lot of individual efforts in the last 30 seconds. I feel like already they've got that mentality that they don't necessarily need to overcommit on any of these chances now. The tournament's winning shots, the tournament winning goals, they have already been seen.
With a minute and a half left, 3 goals to 5 for VentuCorp, a goal every 30 seconds. Do you start to feel that way? But a demo on the back lines, Nashiti needed really to find a pass to a teammate, could only find a pass to Payvex, who now has a chance to get around the side. Another demo. This one onto Zobas, so Nashiti with the pass inside. The demo's coming out, but if you're not going to connect on simple passes like that, then demos mean nothing.
Surely if they're in a team speak, there's going to be no Discord delay complaints from that team. That just should have been a goal. It's as simple as that. And with that play, that could have been the one that has lost the chances for VentuCorp, because this clock is continuing to wind down and every second is more heavily in favour of the Portuguese.
Oh, that's it. That'll do it. Touch over the top. A 3rd man press from VentuCorp that is very, very misjudged. And that will be Team 7 Esports taking home the Redirects 3v3 monthly number 33. They'll get another one for the road. 5-0 off the kickoff. VentuCorp's heads must be on Mars.
Can they reach 7 though, Rhino? That's the question. The 7th seed, Team 7 in the final best of 7. Go game 6. Essentially with 7 goals to show for it. Avex will try and make it happen. Has gone for a few of these musty flicks today. Actually, he's had great connection on all of them.
Yeah.
They just haven't been in the places he would particularly like. Zobas wants to play it inside. Still, Rife is local. And no early exits coming from VentuCorp quite yet. I hope that's not going to be a curse. Of course, that does get you a ban for 2 events. Not going to happen here.
No.
And this has been the debut of a lifetime. The greatest scene in Redirect's 3v3 monthly history. Team 7, representing Portugal, induct themselves to the Redirect Hall of Fame.
And it's so well deserved. I mean, 5-0. 5-0! They won a game earlier in the series. What was it 4-0 or 3-0 in the end? I don't necessarily remember, but
It was 5 for that final game.
It was 5 for that final game, but there was a game earlier in the series as well that I'm talking about. I think.
Yes.
Can't remember whether
it was 4.
It might have been 4, but they just after game 1, which VentuCorp won relatively handily. I was very impressed with what Team 7 put together. Zobas, Rafa, Payvex picked up a week and a half ago by this organization, and they've already got some money into the bank for them. I mean, it's impressive. It really is. And although these players obviously knew each other beforehand, coming into a new environment with a coach and with all this kind of stuff, it changes things. It changes perspective, and you've got to be able to react to that. They do it beautifully. And congratulations to them. They've earned that 70 quid.
And I don't think that Team 7 Esports as an organisation are going to think they made the incorrect choice with this roster now, are they? I mean, first Redirect 3v3 monthly, first championship already picked up, whilst having real up-and-coming talent of the team as well. I can't say that I know much particularly about Zobas in terms of his age and where he stands in that regard. I know that Rafa is a decently recent-ish up-and-comer in the Portuguese scene, of course somewhat contested by the likes of Vaddy, who've been taking a lot of the spotlight right now. But Payvex, this is a 16-year-old, and he's come out here with such an old head on young shoulders. He's played so maturely throughout a lot of today's action. There were games that really did not go Team 7 Esports' way, and I would say that they had the harder time to get to this point. I mean, you can see it on the bracket. It wasn't as smooth sailing as it was for VentuCorp to get themselves into that upper semi-final. They had already had that taste of defeat. They played the likes of Orphée Esport, and we saw in the lower final a little bit of what they were capable of. Of course, the rematch ended up being a sweep, but we can all agree, and those that made sure they were here to watch can agree, that was not a matchup indicative of a sweeping answer.
No, it certainly wasn't. And I find myself saying that a lot in Redirect. When there are sweeps, they're the least sweepy sweeps that you can see. They certainly feel like both teams fought tooth and nail, and that's exactly what happened in that lower final. But yeah, Team 7 just has too much for them in the end. And you could also see in that upper final that Team 7 were pushing VentuCorp right the way to the end. Played incredibly well. They did a great job. Thank you very much for the raid, Zobas. We appreciate you. As you know, they're just starting to come. Team 7, they take home the victory. They did have a longer way to go about it, but they did it with style.
They did indeed. So congratulations to, of course, Team 7 Esports for becoming your champions. Thank you so much for the raid as well from Zobas, yourself, alongside Rafa and Payvex. Looked excellent today, but Rafa switched to the skyline and certainly touched the stars with that final performance. VentuCorp gave themselves also a £30 to share amongst the team as well with their grand final entrance, but overall we will not see a two-time org winner in Redirect's 3v3 monthly history. However, there's now going to be two organizations that can compete for that in those future events. Future events, of course, ladies and gentlemen. Exclamation mark Discord for the Discord. The sign-ups will go live tomorrow for Redirect's 3v3 monthly number 34. So make sure to get yourself involved if you are someone that wants to become a champion all over again, or if you want to join the likes of Team 7 Esports, the success story that shows that being a debutant does not change your chances. You've just got to have the quality. This has been myself, Sir Pegasus, joined alongside Rhino. We've, of course, got Hazza on the production throughout today. 3 out of 4 members of RDR Prod. Please hit our line if you're looking for any Rocket League productions in this upcoming RLCS split. We hope that this has been a good show of what we can do, but most importantly, you better follow up. We better see you next time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching.